That's right. We're live in the studio once again in Rolla here at KKID. Last week it was just me and Steve. This time we have the Dead Roses here all the way from Alton, Illinois. They're going to be playing some music, and Skyping in from Columbia we have Pat K. Hey, Pat.
Hey, Pat. How we doing?
All right. Good. And Pat's with the Blue Note Theater and Rose Music Hall in Columbia, Missouri. We're going to be hearing about what's going on with the scene there. And me and Steve are going to be telling a lot of conspiracy theories about the coronavirus.
I got them all.
I was on the morning show this morning, and we just cracked the shell. Then the egg's going to go wide open and splatter.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I didn't tell the girls that they were involved in this too. So, but you know, I'm sure they've got some strong opinions.
All the way to the top.
No, we're not. But we do have some jokes later in the show. And the Dead Roses, they are going to be playing some music live in the studio throughout the whole show.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So live music once again on Wednesdays. We were doing it real regular for a while, but then with the quarantine, I didn't even come down for weeks.
5 weeks.
I thought it was like 7. I don't. It was months,
like
man.
7.
It was 5 years.
They finally let you out, Jimmy.
They let me out of the city. No, I had to sneak out. I had to crawl on my belly.
You know what? This whole deal. If you guys, you know, I'm older, a little even older than Jimmy. But there's a movie called Escape from New York, and if you haven't seen it, man, I mean, talk about, you know, modern day history coming into effect, you know, like, come on, you know.
Although, me living in St. Louis, I'll tell you, driving around, you couldn't tell there was a quarantine.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you saw that one shot of Times Square early in the morning when there was no traffic, and I think there was some days in New York that it was fairly desolate, but it's business as usual in St. Louis.
Yeah.
It seems like anyway.
Right.
I know all the big box stores are packed.
Right. And that's what don't make sense to me.
I don't know.
How can they stay open and be essential, and, you know, the lady can't go cut somebody's hair, you know, and feed her kids? What's wrong?
I don't
We're
know.
going down the wrong road, right?
We are. We're scaring people away. Why don't we do some music? Let's have the Dead Roses play a song, and then we'll come back and talk politics with Pat K.
Feel this way next year. Hold your head together, don't let him inside. He ain't worthy to take that ride. I knew better even then I knew. So sick and tired of being number 2. Night, and you got me in your hungry eyesight. Think you're sleeping, but can I call the fuck about you all damn day long? Want you to be the child that binds, even though you tell me this is all a lie. Hold your head together, don't let him inside. He ain't worthy to take that ride. I knew better even then I knew. So sick and tired of being number 2. You got some great lines, you're so cool. I'll be damned if I play this fool. You say you'll never leave your past. Brings me to my present real fast. I know what's wrong and what is right, and I won't put my heart on the line. Hold your head together, don't let him inside. He ain't worthy to take that ride. I knew better even then I knew. So sick and tired of being number 2. I knew better even then I knew. So sick and tired of being number 2.
That was the Dead Roses. Yay! Yay! Let's give them some love. You girls are wonderful. Sound beautiful, and you sound wonderful. They drove all the way in from, it was around Illinois somewhere, Alton, Illinois, to be on the show today. And actually, they were booked to play the show, I believe, probably a few months ago, and then the coronavirus hit.
We all got shut down.
Yeah. So they were the first group to come back. You know, the first eligible group. Yeah.
Yep, you guys are. Yep.
Yeah, we pushed everyone off. Now last week, next week it's a band called Factory. They are coming in from Fort Smith, Arkansas, and they're playing at a Bird Fest coming up.
Oh, cool.
And so it's neat getting bands back here into the studio. So and stay tuned because they're going to be playing more. The show's 2 hours long, and we're going to be talking to them later in the show.
Absolutely.
But with us Skyping in from Columbia, Missouri, is Pat K. Hey, I just brought you in. Pat, hey, how you doing? You are
good,
on
man.
right now.
Thanks for having me.
This is cool. Now, I got to brag about Pat K a little bit. He is the talent buyer for the Blue Note Theater and Rose Music Hall, Rose Park in Columbia, among other things, as well as being in the band the K Brothers, which are playing at Schwagstock.
Right.
Yeah. So Pat, what's the climate like there in Columbia? I haven't been there in many months. There's no music going on. Is there a lockdown still?
Well, the governor released his Show Me Strong plan on May 4th. And basically, he has allowed all businesses to open up with restrictions. And naturally, a lot of the cities and counties have sort of added their own restrictions onto those, just whatever makes the most sense for those markets. Obviously, St. Louis has had quite a few more cases, and their cases haven't trended downward quite. I think they actually just leveled off recently, but for Columbia, Boone County's had I think we have a total of 4 active cases right now. We haven't really seen much of it here. We have had 1 death. Unfortunately, that was our first case when all of this started. So I think that a lot of people here are still taking all the precautions that they can. Our mayor has maintained the rule that you can't have over 10 people at a gathering. And such as it is, that policy we expect it to remain through the end of May. And my understanding is around the end of the month that the governor and everyone else is going to take a look at the data to see how localized cases have been tracking and make decisions about what the best step is after this. So we remain cautiously optimistic that we're going to be able to get back to things this summer, but they're not going to be the same as they were before for all the obvious reasons. And I am happy to say that we, our team members here in Columbia have all worked real hard to put together a plan that we think is going to work as best as we can hope for. But a lot of that centers around the idea of making a priority of doing more outdoor shows in Rose Park where we have greater space. Obviously, what we're seeing everywhere is that venues that are experiencing a reduction in capacity. Sometimes that's 25%. In some markets, it's 50%. In every town, in every state, they're all different. And that's going to make things pretty dicey for touring acts. But I think that the summer is going to be a great time for local bands and regional bands, people who are able to do sort of one-off weekend warrior type runs. There's going to be a lot of opportunity there, I think. Like I said, for Columbia, we're looking at doing as many outdoor shows as we can. I think we tentatively plan to start there. It's the biggest space we have, and with that, we can provide the maximum amount of social distancing there. And I think people are going to be more comfortable outdoors than indoors, probably.
Are other businesses closed right now? Is there a stay-at-home order right now in Columbia?
The stay-at-home order has been lifted, and businesses are open. Most of them, we're not. And a lot of the, anything that sort of falls under that entertainment realm or bar realm is still closed.
I get it. And then, so maybe as soon as June, there might be some music flowing. Now, you're also involved with a festival or two there in Columbia, aren't you? Are those happening this year? What festivals are those?
Well, I help out with Roots and Blues and Barbecue Fest, and that is still, we're still proceeding with, again, cautious optimism there.
Is it a September date?
It is the first weekend in October. And, we saw events like summer camp and, a whole lot of festivals pull off of their fall and summer dates and the spring and summer dates move into the fall. And I don't think that everyone's going to be able to operate with full capacity necessarily in the fall. I don't expect that a lot of these big major tours are really going to return until 2021. But anything that's outdoors that provides the ability for expansion and allows people to spread out, I think those events still hold quite a bit of promise. It's not like a seated theater where you have road seats and we've approached all of these all these aspects of this with you just have to be so critical of every fine detail of it, because if you have a seated theater, how do you split up orders? There's no way to program 6 feet of distance in between the seats, and we're pretty savvy with that kind of tech, but the ability to do that just isn't there. But what you can do, and what we sort of plan to do with the park is to entertain the idea of making sort of individual sections or sort of grid it out, if you will. And it's definitely a time of forced innovation for promoters everywhere. But the downtime has really given us all an opportunity to slow down and take a break, take a deep breath, and really get under the hood of our operations and carefully examine each one of our processes and make sure that we're running at maximum efficiency.
I love it. We played a gig this past weekend and it was a Renegade gig. We did it the last minute out here in the parking lot of the radio station, and about 100 people showed up. But it was real exciting to finally get some music flowing again. And then out of everywhere in Missouri, I was suspecting that maybe as far as legitimate venues and that Columbia may be the first to pop up. What got me excited was seeing the quote by Matt Girding in the Billboard magazine article that came out that got everyone excited, stating Missouri is now open for concerts. You probably saw that one. Did you girls see that? It's like let it flow. But and you saw that too. What did you think initially?
Well, I'm pretty certain that every promoter in the state started getting their phones started sounding like slot machines as soon as that dropped. And I'm not gonna lie, when I saw, I kind of fell for it too. I was like, we're back, And, I went down and I saw Matt Girding, who's one of the presidents of the company that I work for, and I was like, wait, he's quoted in here. And I looked down and realized, this is it's a very important thing that we're all going to have to understand about this reopening process, is that everyone's very eager to get back and to get open and to do things again. But what we see on like a national level is it's like building blocks. Donald Trump can say, the president can say that we need to open everything up, and then the governors can add on to that, like, all right, we're going to open up, but we're going to do that, but, and the mayors do the same thing, and sort of as a natural means of not penalizing markets who are healthy and in good shape. They leave this stuff to the mayors, and I think that we're going to see some cities being open and some cities not, and some cities being under certain restrictions that prohibit certain kinds of events, and it's going to be kind of strange to navigate. But a lot of the concern right now, I think for Columbia, at least for me and for a lot of us at the Blue Note and Rose, is that while we are acutely aware that we're probably one of the healthier live music markets out there. We don't want to find ourselves in a position where we open up so far ahead of the other markets that everyone is rushing to Columbia, Missouri to see live music when we're at a reduced capacity, but B, and far more importantly, is that while we have, a relatively cleaner bill of health right now, if we start attracting people from all over the country to come see music here, that could change pretty quickly. And we really don't want to be a part of the problem. Our concerns and objectives lie very deeply in the health of our staff, the health of our musician community, and the health of our fans. We really want to be able to come back at full capacity at some point, and I think that the longer we sort of press pause here, the better in the long.
Well, that's what I thought when I saw that is, okay, Matt Girding's quoted, and they got Rose Music Hall, the outdoor venue. It's going to be like a gold rush, and there's going to be a morning show, a matinee show, an evening show, and this is on a Monday.
Yeah.
It was going to be the Branson of rock and roll, and I was ready to, I could have moved out to Columbia for a few weeks. There's probably some open hotel rooms right now.
Yeah, man. Well, I don't want to say it was clickbait, but that was taken a little bit out of context, and yeah, the governor said that, live music can resume and hair salons can open and bowling alleys can be open. I don't know why those bowling alleys and hair salons are the things that seem to come up.
I know.
If we address these two things, we're sort of covering all of our bases there.
I know.
No,
but finally bowling. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I need to get bowling. Although, bowling's fun, whatever.
I think that was definitely designed to get people to click on it, but it was taken a little out of context.
Right.
I think that all of the markets in Missouri are going to proceed cautiously and follow the guidelines of their local municipalities.
All right. Well, we don't want to get too boring too quick on the show. Let's put you on hold for a second. But what we're going to do is play some music, and we're going to play some of your music. This is this is going to be the K Brothers. Let me see if I can find your. Let's set this video up. You wanted me to play the one first for a reason.
Well, the first one is a song called "Find Your Love," and that was the single off of our first album. And the band wasn't quite as big then in terms of the number of members. We were actually 5 then, and Roger Netherton, one of the 2 fiddle players, couldn't make it. The day we picked to record this video, there was a horrible ice storm. It was one of the worst I'd driven in years, and Roger lives in St. Louis, and he couldn't make it. And we actually planned on doing a different song for the video, but with Roger not being able to come, we picked one that Molly Healy, really kind of stars in, and it showcases her fiddle playing really well.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can get it going here, and bear with me. I've never done it this way before. Hold on. I think it's playing. It looks like a really cool video.
Yeah, it looks pretty.
Wait a minute. It's freezing up. Where was this shot at?
Well, that was shot in an old auto garage in Callaway County. Really old. It actually sits on the property of Shakin' Jake, who plays shakers in the band, and also does leg kicks, and he's kind of our mascot. But yeah, it looks like you got it.
Can you see it? Oh, no, yeah.
Well, I'm 45 seconds behind on the live feed.
It just won't play.
Yeah.
It just won't play for me for some. Oh, wait a minute. You know what I can do is pull it up on YouTube.
Yeah, I just go there.
Because that's where I found it earlier. And why don't you tell everyone about the K Brothers while I get this pulled up?
Okay. Well, the K Brothers is a band that I can't remember how long we've been around now. My brother seems to be our brother Brian is the only one who seems to really know the answer to that. But maybe I don't know, 5 to 8 years, somewhere in there. But anyway, like our thing was whenever we started that band, it was around the time that the Hat Trick started to slow down. Some of you might be familiar with that band. Sean Cannon and I sort of piloted that ship, and I love Sean. Sean moved to St. Louis though, and I still lived in Columbia, and this created all of these travel issues. So I'd always wanted to have a band with my brother, and I approached him one day and said, "Hey, you want to do this?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, okay." He's like, "What am I going to play?" I was like, "Upright bass." And he's like, "I've never played one before." I'm like, "Well, I got one," and I had just left this open mic, and I was scouring the world, and by the world I mean in Missouri, for a fiddle player, and could not find one anywhere. And this kid, I saw this kid at an open mic, and he was leaning up against the wall in the back.
Hey, I think it's playing, man.
Fiddle case on the floor.
Hey, can you hear it? There it is. Hey, I think I got it working.
Oh, cool. Well, we'll watch it, and I'll jabber jaw after that.
No, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Finish your story. Gosh, it was going somewhere good.
Right.
I was so excited it started working. I can restart.
So drinking like a rum and coke or something. I'm like, "Hey, is that a fill in that case?" He goes, "Uh-huh." I was like, "You want to get up and play something?" He's like, "Uh-huh." I'm like, "Can I just tell you a key?" And you jump in. He goes, "Uh-huh." Well, we got up and played a couple songs, and his name was Michael Scambry. A lot of you have probably heard of him. He played in the Hat Trick too. So basically, I was like, I got a fiddle player. My brother's playing bass, and our big thing, then was sort of trying to recapture this sort of, kind of Ozark hillbilly music, and I really just fell in love with the project, and it kept growing, and we, Lauren Douglas joined on the washboard and the spoons, and then Lauren and Mikey moved down to Fayetteville, and Mikey started playing with Mountain Sprout, and Molly started playing with the K Brothers, and we had this shuffle of members for a while, and then all of a sudden it was like this magical sort of collection of talents kind of came together with Brian and Jake and I and Molly and Roger, and now the Roger has moved out of town now, and he's not active with us anymore. Molly still plays with us sometimes, but the two Bernie sisters have joined the band, so now it's a band of brothers and sisters. And
wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you too that like those girls are incredible, and they have their own thing going on. I encourage people to check that out. They do a live show every Saturday at 7 p.m. on their page, the Bernie Sisters, on Facebook. But that I've been complaining at this gig that we couldn't find another fiddle player around Columbia, and it was really tough for Molly because she lives 2.5 hours away, and that's a tough thing to navigate. And one day Emma comes up to me after a show and this poking in my back, and I turn around and I was like, "Hey," and she goes, "I'm ready to play fiddle with you."
How can you say no?
She's like 12 years old at the time. I mean, soft gloves. It takes a long time to learn. She got upset with me. She goes, "I want you to come over and listen. Just listen to one song." And I was like, "Fine, I'll come over tomorrow." So I went over there, and she picked this song that we're about to play. It was the first thing I ever heard her play on the fiddle, and she just absolutely nailed Molly's solo against the wall. My jaw fell on the floor. I about fell out of my chair. I couldn't believe it. I was sitting there trying to play along with it. I had to stop at some point. I was like,
"That's beautiful.
How did this happen?" And she's like, "I have been working hard for 2 weeks." I was like, 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 whole weeks. It's like that was forever or something. And I couldn't believe it. But man, she has picked up the fiddle something fierce. But we'll see this in sort of the progression of these videos. Like the first one, "Find Your Love," is with Jake and Brian and I and Molly. And then in Cumberland Gap, which is the other one,
right.
girls just joined the band, and Molly and Roger are still both there. So that's about as big.
Right.
Numbers.
I think it's gonna work. Let me cue it up here. Yeah, it's working. Check it out.
Molly. I actually remember that we did this differently on the record. Line's really long. I actually learned some live things. Better to do it up on the record. So this whole video was supposed to be outside, ready so we just totally were speaking out.
Yeah, that was the K Brothers. Yay.
And they're going to be down at Swagstock.
Yeah, they are going to be
49.
at Swagstock. They are.
I was going back in the same.
And let's see if I can get Pat pulled up here again. Boom. And with us we have Pat K. But Pat, that was that Molly playing violin on that?
Yeah, that was Molly on that one, and so that was the very first video that we ever made, and we had just finished recording our first album, so it was a really exciting time for us, and we were really starting to sort of settle in.
That sounds good. Oh, hey, you know what? We got to take a commercial break, don't we? Wow. Hold on, Pat. We're going to get back to you right after this commercial break. Well, I forgot. It's Commercial Rock Radio here on KKID Radio.
Hey, the Jimmy Tebeau Show, brought to you by our title sponsor, Peace of Mind. We're going to check in with them, a few others, and we will be right back.
You're listening to the Jimmy Tebeau Show on KKID 92.9 FM, Salem, Rolla.
All right, we're back. If you're just tuning in, this is the Jimmy Tebeau Show. We do this every Wednesday here on KKID. It's been over a year. This is like show number 573. No, it's like 57. Still, it's been over a year.
Unbelievable.
And guests today include Pat K calling in from Columbia, Missouri, as well as the Dead Roses group. Three lovely ladies coming in from Alton, Illinois, and we'll be talking. They're going to be playing some more music live in the studio. But while we got Pat on the phone, we were in the middle of the story of the progression of the band, and we're leading up to another video. But first, we should plug the fact that you're going to be playing at Swagstock 49 once again, and you played last year.
Yeah. Last year was our first time there. We had a blast and can't wait to get back out there this summer.
Yeah, well, you guys are the ultimate Missouri band. You know, you even bring the big Missouri flag and fly it behind the stage and get everyone hooting and hollering. That was a lot of fun last year. And how has it been for the K Brothers? Many gigs get canceled, and you still have some later in the season?
We had, we started out the year planning to have taken a break to record an album, which went on pause due to social distancing guidelines. So we actually didn't have that many shows that we had to punt or cancel. We started out the year, strong with a sold-out show at the 4th Street Theater. It was our first time there. Had a fantastic time there. It's a great room. Sold that show out, and we were just getting ready to do our next Blue Note show. It's our annual St. Patty's Day Ball, and we actually changed the format of the show and bring in some of our friends, Tony Luttman and others, to sort of. And we play a lot of Celtic music, and we twist a lot of our own stuff in that direction. And we have instead of having a big 30-foot Missouri flag, as a stage backdrop, we have an Irish flag, and it's a really fun show. That show we've done, I think, 3 or 4 times and sold out every time down at Rose. And this was the first year we moved it up to the Blue Note. and it was on pace to sell out as well. And like this all happened that week. And the very first show as a promoter, if I put my promoter hat on, the very first show that I canceled or rescheduled or postponed as a result of the current crisis was my own.
Oh no! I was wondering, that was probably Saturday, March 14th or something,
It was
before
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Can you believe it? Oh, okay.
So that show is still in a postponed status, and we've got, we have our big summer fish fry planned that we do annually in Rose Park, and we may end up sort of shifting those tickets to that show and allowing people the option to use them for entry there or get a refund if they prefer. But we'll see. It's going to be strange coming back, and I think that what we'll probably see quite a bit of is the sort of 1+1, and that's kind of what we're thinking about doing for our fish fry show, is doing an early show and a late show. And if we're at limited capacity, hopefully, we can still get, say if we're at 50% capacity and that's like 600 people in the park, we can get, two groups of, 500 or 600 people in there in the same day and still spread the same amount of joy.
That's so wonderful. That's cool. You're still working with whatever you got to make things happen there with K Brothers and in the music scene in Columbia. It's fantastic. Well, we do have another K Brothers song we're wanting to play.
Yeah, so this one
here?
The first video we did right before we released the first album. That show was the first. I mean, we were doing like 100 people a show, and all of a sudden we released that video and put that album release show on sale, and it sold out in advance. It was the very first sold out show we ever had. It was an incredible feeling, a little scary, but it was great. And that was actually the first time that the Bernie sisters played with us, was at that show, and they were just doing backup vocals. Then they hadn't had the opportunity to be featured on the album yet. And very quickly we sort of refocused our energy and our sort of mission statement. And we truly became at that time a band of brothers and sisters, and we started to play more old time music, which I really love. And ultimately, our mission just became to sort of preserve that rural heritage and the music of our forefathers and mothers that used to happen in the barns on Saturday night and then happen again in the churches on Sunday morning. Because there's a lot of history there, a lot of local history there, and we just feel like it's great music. It's accessible to a wide audience. I have kids. I have a daughter who's 2 and a son who's 4. Our band is now like multi-generational. There's people from the age of 12 to 44, I think. It's great to just have something that's so openly accessible to everyone. It was the first time that my grandmother liked what I was doing, and my parents could tolerate it. So I'm like, I think we're where we want to be here. So this next video, Cumberland Gap, was the very first track on that album, and this was we recorded this several months after the girls started with us, and Emma was playing fiddle at the show. But basically, this is a show that we did in a barn. We got into doing these barn parties, and there's something, and I don't want to start getting metaphysical about this stuff, but there's something very magical about this music happening in these barns where it used to happen. Like, my dad remembered going to, a barn dance, like in the same barn. And this stuff happened in our barn back there. So this is in our hometown of California, Missouri. This is we basically filmed all of this at a show, and then Carl Bussin with Bussin Productions, who also produced the last video, did this one as well, and he did a great job of patching it all together. But this one, I think, really reflects what we're all about now as a band.
All right, let me see if I can cue it up better than I did the last one. It turned out my QuickTime player was giving me trouble. All right, here we go. Cumberland Gap, K Brothers.
legs in the kitchen with the feet in the hall. Hey.
Yes, that was the K Brothers here on KKID Radio 92.9. Yes, there's such a huge studio audience here tonight. There's all 5 of us. We're social distancing. Okay. Now, with us is the Dead Roses. And do you hear that?
Yeah, you're feeding back.
Am I?
Echo.
I don't know why that is.
Maybe turn your video off, or
I guess so. I don't know. Hold on. Are you still there with us, Pat? Why don't you say something? Oh, okay. Hey, so that was Cumberland Gap. That was the K Brothers. How do we find out more information on the K Brothers? Anyway.
Well, we just launched a website in the midst of all of this. Yeah, again, a great time to take a look at what you're doing and scratch some of those items off the wall that you haven't had time to do. So we actually just released our website, which is thekbrothers.com. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Spotify, on YouTube. If you're watching now and you like what you hear, go to our Facebook page and please hit like and follow us there. One new thing that we're getting ready to do here soon within the next week or so is we're going to launch our new online merch store. We've never had that. We haven't even really had merchandise except for the last 2 years. But people like it, and it's one of those things that we just really need to have up and have available. People are asking us about merch, and we're trying to mail stuff piecemeal, and we desperately need the revenue. We still have bills. We don't have a whole lot of bills, but we have some, and it'd be nice if we could at least, just in terms of our balance sheet from month to month, be in a decent position there. But yeah, it's tough to. It's almost a little hard to watch that video and just think about, the energy of.
I know, we were watching. Everyone was dancing so close to each other.
Yeah, I know. I heard some of that chatter. It's like you're sharing microphones, and those are things that we have to work through when we come back. And that was one of the things that the production manager for the Blue Note brought up in one of our meetings was you realize that these impossible changeovers that you schedule for me in 15 minutes, they couldn't happen before. Now they're definitely not going to happen because we have to sanitize everything, and that we really have to rethink the way that we do stuff. I think that it's going to be, we're going to see a lot more evenings with and things like that. but yeah, just watching, the energy of a live show. People, I hear people talk about, what are you doing to keep it alive? I'm like, it's not dead. Like I am a believer in the law of the conservation of energy, and energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred. And human beings emit energy, and the thing about live music that gives it life is the people. It's the crowd and the artists all together in the same place. And live streaming shows is great. I've toyed around with it a little bit, but that tether is still severed there. In a live setting, the music is what really orchestrates the energy of all the people in the room into these beautiful, complex and ornate patterns that it's really what makes live music magical, and it's really what makes it elemental to me as a musician and as a promoter. I can't live without it. It's my life's work. And it's such a strange thing to be in a world where we can't do that. And I miss it, and I had a good time doing, a live show. But I tell you what, and I'm going to be honest, I walked out on my back deck, and I've got a bunch of woods, and there's kind of a valley down there, and there's houses sort of scattered across the hillside. And I just had to play. I hadn't even really played at all. And I played and just sang my heart out. And as soon as I stopped, I heard people clapping. And
that's funny.
Yeah, we were practicing outside ourselves, and my neighbor walked by, and she's like, "Oh, I want to get a beer and just come down." And we're like, "Come on, just go out in the yard."
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Bring it on.
But the energy exchange there between me and that one other person or two other people, I think there's more than one, but that was at the moment as big as a sold out Blue Note show. Those have been just incredible experiences. That we actually, when we released that last video, Cumberland Gap, we did a big release party at the Blue Note, and that show sold out. And I just can't believe the amount of support that we've gotten for us and for our music, and we're so grateful, and we miss everybody so much, and we can't wait to get back at it.
So is the band's next official gig Swagstock at the end of July, or is there something else between now and then?
Let me go to the kbrothers.com here.
Don't you book the band? Because I know a lot of shows have been canceled. Like at the Blue Note, you're the guy that has to. You're getting emails from the bands canceling, and then you're getting word from management up above that you can't do shows until a certain date.
Yeah, I'm getting it from every possible angle, and really,
and you're just juggling it.
My day at this point consists of, it's like a really boring game of football where you get one play, and that's punt, and everyone has to punt the same direction, and we just keep, I feel like I'm systematically doing my job in reverse now, and it's so frustrating, being someone who really thrives on creating, and whether that's creating my own music or creating a live experience at my own shows, or creating that same experience for other people and other musicians for their shows. I can't, it's just bizarre to dismantle that and try to make an art form of it. And it's become very tedious. Originally, when we canceled the K Brothers show in March, we canceled the rest of March. So we let the last half of March go, and we thought, hey, hopefully by the end of this, we'll be back. And the longer this has gone on, the more we've learned about this, the more everyone's learned about it, and the more that everyone has discussed engineering or reopening, and it's hard to say. Our next show right now is looks like off Broadway in St. Louis on July 24th, and George's in Fayetteville, Arkansas with Big Smith on the July 24-25 weekend. Will those shows play off? We'll see. It's really hard to tell. We're just taking everything day by day at this point.
Right on. Well, we really appreciate you coming on the show. We got to go to a commercial break. All right, we're back. If you're just tuning in, it's the Jimmy Tebeau Show here on KKID Radio happens every Wednesday in a variety show. It's super organic. We have no idea what we're doing, but we do know that we have the band Dead Roses in the studio, and they started the show off with a live song. But you girls got another song ready to go?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Dead Roses live. Thousands of people listening on the internet.
Oh, that's awesome.
You can hear them
Very
from here.
cool. You guys are great.
That was the Dead Roses musical group playing live in the KKID studio. Once again, it's been a little while for live music. It's been since this morning since I was here playing guitar with John. No, actually, before that, it's been months.
Yes.
Well, of course, we did play in the
parking
lot Saturday. Yeah, that was.
And that was great. I mean, we probably had about 75 to 100 people out there, and it's a 100 by 60, so it's a 6,000 square foot parking lot, and everybody just like, he was talking about, we almost did that as far as, bordering it off, and I almost got me a spray can and was going to hook lines and 6 feet. And then we just decided everybody bring a 6-foot string and a chalk. And they drew their little circles. Right, yeah. One
Yeah,
person.
we all got to think outside the box.
We got to think outside the circle.
Right.
Wah, wah. Oh my gosh.
That was funny. And we didn't even try.
I know. It's not even comedy time yet. Although it's close to comedy
It is.
time.
It's 6:02.
It's within minutes.
I should probably say you are listening to KKID Salem Rolla.
Because that's the station ID at the top of the hour.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, you see, we're professional like that.
We try to be.
You know.
Oh, look at this kid.
But anyway, we should.
Sorry.
Do you want to do one more song?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Why don't we? We're just kind of on a run here. Why one more song from Dead Rose?
Well, the last song was Women, Whiskey, Booze, and Blood, written by Aaron Joe Paddlefoot, and that's the name of our album. And I did the first one called Heartbreak Number 2 at the beginning of the show, and this one is just, I swear, our pride and joy. This is written by Miss Mila Ray Duffy over here, called The Devil and I. And man, this song's just got a sound, they call it heavy grass or folk rock. They're still trying to classify us a little bit.
Folk. What you need? Oh.
The Devil and I. I don't think we were ready. Never mind. Never mind.
Well, then
My
we'll
thing is
turn
on,
back
which
on our
is
mics
right here.
and stall. Well, stall, Jimmy. Come on.
You're listening to KKID Radio. Hey, no, this is the perfect time to introduce Pat K and his. Is that your daughter there?
Hello.
They're eating popcorn watching the show.
Oh, that's adorable.
That is so cool. You know, Pat, I've been trying to work my kids into the act. My kids are just like a quarter mile from here up at my dad's house, and I cannot get them to come down here and talk. They'll hang out in the studio, but you know, your kid right there, that's a sign of a life in show business right there. Hi. Are we ready? Okay. We're really going to do it.
Yep.
Dead Roses.
Thank
get down
so low. I should be believing I get
Then go down low from the bottom of my feet. Lost my soul in Eden when the devil and I did
Yeah. That was groovy. Live music is alive once again, through a pandemic, a quarantine. It's slowly sprouting again. We can call this the phoenix rising from the ashes, because that was a big thing. Live music was one of the first things to go, and it'll be one of the first things to start to come back. So this is some of the first shows, and it's wonderful that we can share it with everyone through the airwaves here at KKID, through Facebook Live, and just sharing it around the world nonetheless. And
Our front row seats. Thank you.
It's just nice to be doing something. Even though it's been a couple months.
I know.
Yeah.
This is great. I'm loving every second of it.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're so glad you girls came down. Well, let's we should probably tell some jokes and stuff like that. What do you think? Did you girls bring some jokes down?
I got this one joke. It's not.
Okay, well, come on down. Let's
Yep,
go
yep.
ahead and get the headphones on. We're gonna get serious. Plus, I want to hear more about the band anyway.
My psychedelic glasses.
And you got Pat on in Columbia.
Pat's right there. He's mic'd up and ready.
Pat, who's your guest there?
My guest is Birdie, my daughter.
Look at that helmet. That was perfect timing.
Can you say hi, Birdie?
Hi,
Can you say hello to them?
Hello.
Hello. Can you wave?
Hello.
Now we're getting shy now.
Oh yeah. No, that popcorn looked yummy.
Yeah, she's out of popcorn now, so we're about to have problems soon.
That's it. That's Pat K, and this little one Skyping in from Columbia, and we've been just talking about the music industry, but we got the Dead Roses in the studio. So let's hear about this band. How long have you girls been doing this thing, and how do we find you on the internet?
I think we're a year and a half old.
Only a year and a half.
We're
Yeah.
18 months old.
We were just getting started.
We're just starting to form some sentences and walk without falling.
We had our first album out in we were in the studio within 4 months of being together, because we just knew we had something special at the time. And,
That was cute though, wasn't it?
so we knew we had something special at the time, but we didn't really know what to do with it. We knew we needed to get in a studio right away, and it's very hard for different radio stations to classify us. So we're just kind of marketing ourselves to rock, country, pop, bluegrass, folk, just everything, because we're all three lead singers. We all three write the songs, and we all bring a different flavor to the table. And I don't think people know what to do with us quite yet, but that's okay. We're still figuring it out too.
Well, there you go. That's right.
It's a very unique band. Like Steve was like, what kind of band is this? And I've brought in a wide variety of groups in here. We've had
So far.
8-piece funk bands. We've had solo artists that are like, where'd this guy come from? You know, and you know, some really diverse stuff. But you girls are wonderful. We played a gig together in Alton, Illinois, wasn't
That's
it?
right. We played Happy Trails.
Oh yeah, we did.
Wasn't that in January or something?
January.
So yeah, we were sharing a green room in Alton, Illinois.
I remember, yep.
And I think we were talking about maybe having you on the radio show or
I
something.
think so.
I
and
feel
here
very
we are.
special. Like I got to share a green room with swag. Like,
Oh, and it gets crazy back there. Actually, I was napping and they stepped on me. I was in the corner,
It's time to go on.
It's a fun room.
it was a fun room.
No, that was a fun festival as well. I saw some videos on your Facebook page with with some of that. And what kind of shows you girls got coming up? Did they all get canceled? You got anything booked, or is this it today right here?
We're just kind of living by the day at this point. We, the week we were supposed to come down here in March, we were getting ready to do our first tour in Austin.
I know.
Which got canceled.
I know.
And then about 20 shows have gotten canceled. And we were supposed to go start our second album. Well, the second album's written. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
And that got canceled. Yep. So we're doing Trinity Fest this Friday. And that's going to be streamlined. Yeah. And then we have a gig at Redfish Bluefish in June, so we're hoping that's still a go. It's in St. Charles County. I don't know if they're really having music indoors yet, so that's up in the air.
Right.
And I mean, literally, we have gigs booked, but it's all just wait and see.
Right. If they call and say, "Hey, I'm still on," that's what Jimmy's at too.
Yeah.
I know he's been, fishing around and different things like that, and that's what we were talking about, and even like, having those outdoor venues where you can be spread out and not being indoor and
I think
stuff.
people are more comfortable with that at this stage in the game.
And I think everybody else kind of would too, because I don't know. I mean, we don't want to get political, do we? We don't want to get political, do we?
Maybe for our next gig.
Oh, we do.
Maybe our next gig will be Schwagstock 49 with you guys and the K
We're
Brothers.
not doing nothing.
Oh, you're wide open on that date?
Yeah, we're pretty wide open. Yeah, we could potentially be.
I know that's funny with this one gig. You potentially could be getting booked at Schwagstock and Rose Music Hall due to this guy over here, the Mr. Pat K, who's still with us there in Columbia.
Thank you for hanging out. Yeah.
Yeah, this guy, no, mover and shaker.
Yeah, I love the K Brothers. I've been listening to you guys for a while, to be honest, and the Bernie sisters. We were actually just talking to them last week. We were just reaching out and just being like, "Do you want to do a show maybe sometime when this is over?" And we were just kind of going back and forth.
Is that who we were listening to?
Yeah, that's who we were listening to on the way over.
And
the
Sarah
Bernie
sent them
sisters.
some shirts, some Dead Roses shirts.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm so impressed. They're so talented.
They're very talented. Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, well, there's one thing we usually do on this show. Not usually, but sometimes. But tonight, I'm feeling it. As serious as we've all been for the past many weeks, I think it's time we tell some jokes, and not just regular jokes, but bad jokes.
Oh, God.
So you got bad jokes for you tonight? I mean, you printed some out and.
Well, not only do I have bad jokes, but I've got bad coronavirus jokes.
Oh, yay!
Yeah,
I'd like
I know
some
what you're
humor about it,
thinking.
to be honest.
It's too soon.
No, it's not.
Now's the time. We need some
It is
humor.
now.
We're starting to play music again, so we can make fun of ourselves.
Yeah.
And I can see Pat cringing up there in Columbia, going, "Oh God, what did I get myself into?" You can turn him back up a little bit. Pat, can you hear?
Some jokes.
You do have some jokes? Oh man, that's cool.
I'll come up with something.
Okay. Well, I'll get it started
All
because.
day long.
Oh no, that's great. Well, I'll get it started because I think the girls brought in some as well. Okay.
Mine is just memorized.
That's good. I had to print mine out. Okay. I would tell you a coronavirus joke now, but you'll have to wait 2 weeks to see if you got it.
That is dope. That was
I told you they were bad.
good.
Okay. Did you hear the joke about the germ? Never mind. I don't want to spread it around.
Oh.
Nice.
Okay, I better stop while I'm ahead.
No, keep going.
No. There's more. I got to share the love. Who's next,
All
then?
right. What do you call a boomerang that doesn't come back?
There you go. What do you call a boomerang that doesn't come back?
A stick.
Okay.
That's all I got.
I saw the laughter that it deserves. That's all.
Steve thought that was funny.
I mean, you know how many boomerangs I threw in my day and they never came back?
They were just-
They were
I paid
sticks.
how much money for this thing?
Okay,
How much
boomerang.
money did you pay for your boomerang?
Well, I'm much older than you are, sweetheart.
It was a nice shiny quarter back then in 1943. I think you're older than me. I better watch what I'm saying.
I'm quite a bit older than you.
Okay.
Saved for
Because I'm
weeks to get
39.
your boomerang.
Y'all look
You're
freaking
30.
great for 39. I mean, wow.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Okay, who else has a joke? You got one?
All right. Hold on. Oh crap. Okay. Why does a chicken coop only have 2 doors?
I don't know, Aaron Joe. Why does a chicken coop only have 2 doors?
Because if it had 4, it'd be a chicken sedan.
Womp, womp, womp.
Oh, that is funny. Okay, well, you know what they're saying about 2020?
What?
It went viral faster than anyone thought it would.
Ooh.
Okay. Hey, Pat, do you really have a joke out there?
Yeah.
Okay, it's Pat's turn. You're up.
All right, hold on. Breaking news. The devil has canceled his trip down to Georgia, citing the fiddle contest was non-essential.
News flash from Columbia. That was good. Pat K right there. You got another one down there?
Do you have one? You have one?
I only have one joke.
Do it.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
bring it up.
Shine,
Don't be
sister.
shy. Get right
It's
up
not
on
a Corona joke at all.
We'll
We'll
take
forgive you.
It's wide open right here, right
Okay.
now.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Dishes.
Dishes.
who?
Dishes. Sean Connery. Nice to meet you.
I like it.
All right.
Oh
No,
boy.
no. Dishes. Yeah.
Dishes.
You got it?
I got it.
You got it. Okay.
I liked it because I'm a 007 fan. You know. That's how I'm hip to Sean Connery.
Okay, actually, I have one more.
Okay, you're on a roll, baby.
This ties
Take it.
into
Run with
why did Sean Connery stop his job? Why did he stop his job? Why did Sean Connery quit acting and become a roofer?
I don't know.
You got me on that one.
Yeah.
Because of all the hot shingles.
Okay, that was.
Got to
Sean
be that
Con- I
age,
only
didn't
have
you?
Sean Connery jokes.
You only have that.
I'm glad. All I got are these coronavirus jokes. Okay, so why don't?
Yours are relevant.
Yeah, I know.
Who the fuck
trying
is Sean Connery?
He's
Those
older
are-
than I am. I
Hey,
know
no,
that.
007, he was great.
We told everyone these were going to be bad jokes.
Yes, we
So-
warned them.
Okay, why don't chefs find coronavirus jokes funny? Because they're all in bad taste. It's too soon. Pat, you got any more out there in Columbia?
I might be tapped out for right now.
Okay, that's cool. We'll keep going.
got
Any more
one.
down there?
I got one.
Okay.
What is a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
You think it's R, but it's really the C.
Oh, it's the C. Of course. Okay. Well, you know what they say: feed a cold, starve a fever, and drink a Corona. No. Wait a minute. If coronavirus isn't about beer, why do I keep seeing cases of it?
Good question.
I've never actually. I don't know. That was in the grocery store in the liquor section. There was. Don't get me talking about my my trip to Walmart Supercenter because
gosh.
It's a scary
Which
place.
one?
How was it? Yeah.
Well, I went to
Is
the
it
one
in St. Louis?
Well, I was going to go to that one, but I drove south a little bit, went to the one in Arnold, Missouri.
Okay.
It's 7 in the morning.
Right.
And
Did you have to wait in line to get in?
there was a line, but I wasn't about to wait in line. I just sat in my car until there wasn't a line. And I thought they were going to cut people off and wait. And I was going to, no, it just flooded in, you know. And people were up and down the list. But don't get me started. You got me started, dang it. We're trying to tell jokes here. I've got some more. You got any more down there?
How many lead guitarists does it take to change a light bulb?
I don't know.
24. 1 to do it and 23 to stand around and how they would have done it better.
Right. Yeah.
I tell you, those guitar players.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's so many coronavirus jokes out there. It's a pandemic.
I love puns.
Yeah.
Is that me?
No, I think it's my computer. I hope it's not me.
You're live.
Oh,
in the
that's
air.
fine. I know, that's funny. Now, what did the man say to the bartender? I'll have a Corona. Hold the virus.
That's a good one.
There you got it.
Yeah, I got it. This girl's trying to FaceTime video me while I'm live on the air.
Maybe she doesn't know that. You know.
I don't know. She might. Does that happen to you out there, Pat, when you're live streaming?
No.
I know. Thanks. Okay. What's the best way to avoid touching your face? A glass of wine in each hand?
Amen.
Okay. Do we need to go to a commercial break?
We can do a commercial break if you'd like.
Okay, I got one more joke.
Okay.
Can I tell one more?
Yes.
Wrap it up.
Okay. I know a great joke about the coronavirus, but most of you probably will not get it, though. I'm going to end on that one. Let's go to a commercial break before it gets too weird.
The Jimmy Tebeau Show, brought to you by Peace of Mind, 6 stores right here in our listening area. Let's check in with them. A few others. We'll be right back.
That was awesome. I love this.
Hey folks, it's Daniel from Peace of Mind. I'm here with my friend Cheech.
Hey, Daniel, you're far out, man.
Yeah, I know, bro. We're social distancing at all of our Peace of Mind locations.
Sounds good, man. I'm going to head over to Peace of Mind now and get everything I need for these strange days, man.
Awesome, Cheech. See you there. From a distance, Peace of Mind has been deemed essential and is open for all of your needs. During these unprecedented times, Peace of Mind, our staff, and our families would like to extend our most peaceful and healing vibes to you and your families. We're grateful for the times we've had together and look forward to being there as one village now and on the other side of this. Stop by any of our locations today in Sullivan, Cuba, Rolla, and beyond for all of your essentials. Peace of Mind is here for you now and always. Peace of Mind, good vibes all the time.
Oh, groovy, we're back. Yes, you're tuned in. Man, it's already been 90 minutes. Time flies when you're having fun. It's the 2-hour show. It's Jimmy Tebeau Show. Happens every Wednesday here for over a year now. Show number 57. And with us in the studio live is the band Dead Roses. And you girls got another fun song to play for us?
Yeah, I got one. It's called Hang With You. It was just written and was supposed to be recorded on the second album started this month, but so you'll have to deal with this. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Running in the rain, in the street one night, soaking wet, looking for a place that's just right. Had nowhere to turn, my back's against the wall. I shouted in the darkness and you heard the call. I've been across the earth for miles just to try to find a reason to smile. We seem to mirror each other's lifestyle, so I guess I'll hang with you for a while. Two puzzled souls meeting up one night, had no idea they would fit so right. Picking me up and holding so tight. If anyone would see us, we would be a sight. I've been across the earth for miles just to try to find a reason to smile. We seem to mirror each other's lifestyle, so I guess I'll hang with you for a while. no reason to smile. We seem to mirror each other's lifestyle. So I guess I'll hang with you for a while. So I guess I'll hang with you for a while.
Yay, that was Dead Roses. Yay, there's the audience. Delayed reaction. They, oh, that's fun having live music.
It is so
back
great,
here.
man.
Yeah, we still
We've
got
missed
Pat
it.
up over here too.
We still got Pat right there.
Hey Pat, what do you think of this band? You see a lot of bands. Oh, he's not up, I don't think.
Well, he is. I don't know.
Oh, I got it. That was my end. I am a huge sucker for fiddle music. I love it.
Yeah, that's what we figured. You know, it kind of worked out that you ended up being on this show the same night they were. You know, because sometimes we have hard rock bands in here. You know, so it worked out. You know, because K Brothers has some fiddles going on. And I believe it, you know, we should talk about Schwagstock 49. You know, as far as we know, it's happening July 31st and August 1st, and in Waynesville, Missouri at the Shrine Camp. And it's going to be 2 nights of the Schwag. The K Brothers are playing, and another cool band from Columbia that's playing is, and you know these guys, Pat, it's Cat Daddy's Funky Fuzz Bunker Band. Did I say their name right?
Yeah. The longest band name in history. Those guys are the homies.
You have booked them at the Blue Note in Columbia before, and Rose Music Hall.
Yeah, I actually couldn't tell you how many times I've booked them. I love those guys, and that band they've just had an incredible journey from when they were from their conception to where they are now. They've come so far. They're an awesome band, great time. I'm really proud to see them on the lineup.
Yeah, and they're going to be there the whole weekend, and you guys are rolling in on the Saturday night. And that weekend we have a Pink Floyd tribute band, and they're from Peoria, Illinois. Speaking of bands from Illinois, you know, and they reached out the other day. They're like, we're still on, right? I'm like, as far as we know. And July at this point is so far away. There's a solid 2 months between now and then. And as far as we know, we can have concerts. Right now, we tested that theory this past weekend. We set up in the parking lot here at KKID Radio. Cars are driving by, and I got to be honest, some of us were a little scared that we might get a ticket or get arrested for, you know, gathering people, even though it was cleared by the governor that you can have a concert as long as everyone's practicing social distancing.
Right.
But, you know, there's a gray area there.
Right.
You know?
And I mean, just like, you know, your mayor up there saying, you know, no, we're not going to allow you to accumulate of over 10 people or more. I mean, we had 75 to 100 people in the parking lot trying to keep their social distance as best as they could, and everybody did a great job. You know, I mean, it was a blast. Right.
I was even trying to find a place to play outside this weekend. You can't really. It'd be hard to do it inside. It's hard to do it outside anyway. But as you were saying this morning and earlier, rain is forecast through Sunday.
Right.
You know, so
there's something in the works for Memorial Day, but we're not going to say anything this week.
Well, I know we're trying. You know, I was hoping to get out there to Rose Park maybe before the end of May, but it's probably maybe June. Pat, is that a possibility? Depending on what the mayor says.
Depending on what the mayor says, yeah, there's definitely a possibility we could squeeze that in. I think that, you know, like I said, whatever business we're able to do, if you know the timing is right, is probably going to be outdoors in the park and most likely evening with style shows. So yeah, the Schwag is right over home plate for that model.
Because the trick to that kind of show is you'll know like on a Monday, and then who can you call that Monday to play that Saturday?
The Dead Roses.
And bands like, exactly, it's like the Dead Roses, the Schwag, bands, regional bands that are ready to rock,
right,
and bands that are ready to get out. Not that all band members are ready to go out, get out, or some of our band members were apprehensive about doing that show this past Saturday.
Well, and even about coming down, I think shortly after, you guys were going to come down and do another show in the studio, and you decided not to because the band members just didn't feel comfortable with it, and everybody has to go through this in their own way.
Right. Our drummer wore a mask the whole time that he played.
He did.
Yeah. And what's funny about that is our drummer occasionally jokes about how if this music thing doesn't work out, that he's going to pick up his lifelong dream of being a ventriloquist, which we think is a joke. But when he started wearing the mask, we're like, man, this is a great time to do your ventriloquist act, because you could be really bad at first and no one would see your lips moving.
That's exactly what needs to happen, man. There needs to be a masked ventriloquist to hit the market, man, and just take over the world.
Well, that's what I've seen on these internet
shows. Let the puppet do all the talking.
That day we were playing out here, we were out here for 16 hours.
Have they got any Trump puppets yet, that you could use for that?
No, that's what we were talking about. It's like you just can't get a standard dummy. He'd have to get a mini him, like a guy with dreadlocks and a beard, who's extremely right wing and he's extremely left wing, and they argue about politics.
Nice.
We're like, dude, your material would be so easy, and no one would see your lips move.
Exactly.
But that's about as far as it's gotten, and so he's playing drums, and but we're encouraging him. No, but more bands have been streaming live. And Pat, weren't you guys doing some sort of series of live streaming in conjunction with the Blue Note Facebook page or something? Did I see something like that? What's that series all about? I was going to ask you about that anyway.
Yeah, we called that the Social Distraction Series, and several times a week, bands from around the region are going live, and it's a really great thing if your band is already doing Facebook Live and you've kind of got it figured out, that you can actually schedule yours to coincide with our schedule, and basically what happens is you take your fans and your following who sees those videos, and we expand that to include the venue's social media reach, which if you had 100 people watching before, now maybe that number is 200 or more, and it's a great opportunity for people to grow their fan base when they can't be out there doing it in person.
That's kind of what we're doing with Trinity Fest. We have 70 bands playing, and we're all streaming Friday and Saturday. And what the Trinity Fest did was we were trying out different programs, and they just weren't real friendly. So they just made one musician per band an admin of the page, and we're just going to go on our time and do it live and
pay.
That's this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a production this Friday and Saturday to see if we can all come in on time and nobody gets cut off. But I mean, you do what you got to do. We all got to think outside the box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, keep an exposure. There's a number of bands that I've seen not go live at all. Like even Aaron Cam and the One Drops. I'm a big fan, but I don't think they've even gotten together to play yet. So, but, I don't know.
That's another one of those instances where. The members of some bands are practicing, moderate to extreme social distancing, and that's something that on the talent buying front we're seeing a lot of in the fall. There's really a lot of bands out there, particularly the larger ones, who don't want the optics of having played, for example, coronavirus resurgence in Columbia, Missouri as a result of seeing band XYZ on 9th Street. No one wants to have their name attached to that either. So yeah, and that's been the problem for us. The girls, the Bernie sisters, are going live all the time and doing that stuff because they're under the same room or the same roof, but we're not. So we've sort of been reduced to whatever I'm able to do by myself.
Although that seems to be laxing up quite a bit lately. I knew this when I saw this band from New Jersey going live 3 times a week, and they're called Dogs in a Pile, and I actually know those guys, and really cool band. But I was like, should they be doing that? And then the Capitol Theater, they have Garcia's, that's that little club up front. They've been streaming live through their social media, and they were they were spreading that around too. So I think, it's people are starting to get laxed about the whole thing of streaming live. Should people be getting together? Mostly in part because we've been into this 2 months deep, and things are starting to open up again. There's a lot of people at the big box stores. You got streaming live stuff scheduled coming up, Pat? You and the band going to get back together? Any plans for that anytime soon?
We're talking about it, but we don't have anything airtight yet. But hopefully soon.
Right, and then Dead Roses, you girls have been playing a little bit through the quarantine. You all live in the same town, though.
We have been pretty separated until just about 2 weeks ago. We had our first practice in Sarah's backyard. We kept our distance, so we might start doing some live streams from Sarah's backyard since
people love outdoor streams.
And
they
then
love it.
we're doing a live stream Trinity Fest this Friday at 9:30. So.
All right, and that's on their Facebook page. Well, we're getting the music out there the best we can. How are we doing on time? Do we need to take a break?
How about these guys play another song?
Oh, let's do that.
And then we'll come back to a break.
Yeah, you girls got another song.
And that way we can do a break, and they can probably do one more, and then talk to.
Yeah, gosh, we're coming down the home stretch here.
I'm telling you, 19 minutes.
It's a lot of fun.
It goes by quick.
And we should plug that next week we got a band in here called Factory. They're driving up from Fort Smith, Arkansas, and they're also one of the featured bands at Birdfest, which is coming up at the beginning of June, if all goes well. And they play original music. It's a 3-piece power trio, drums, bass, and guitar. And one or two of them sing. But they also do a really mean Jimi Hendrix tribute. And they're going to be doing that at Birdfest and a set of originals. And they'll be here in the studio next Wednesday, 5 to 7. And it's going to be a lot of fun. You girls ready back there? What's going on? Let's make some noise.
That's not a chord.
There we go.
Molly Shepherd was driving down the highway with blood in her mouth. I guess that all that praying that you do on Sunday won't keep the demons out. On a lonely stretch of West Texas highway, no one would know if you were dead. So she bit his neck, she sucked his blood, she threw him in the trunk. This is what she said. I had to kill him. I took his life. She had his body high. I was just his wife. Wipe the blood from your knees, little sister. He can't touch you no more. It's just the big fat dick of the system. It makes you exhort. I never told a soul when that man would beat me. I was always so good. I never cried when he pushed me down the stairs. I killed him long after I should. I had to kill him. I took his life. It felt good to kill him. I don't care if it's wrong or right. Woo. wouldn't take from Molly Shepherd. She held her head up high. And when the judge gave Molly's final sentence, Lord, she didn't even cry. I guess in Texas they still give hangings for murder in the first degree. I'd do it all again, she said, if I had a chance. They don't know what he done to me. I had to kill him to take my life. It felt good to kill him. I don't care if it's wrong or
Live music happening here in Rolla. Once again, coming across the airwaves. And the whole town erupts with pleasure and joy and endless applause. Oh, thank God for pre-recorded audiences. You know, as musicians need everything we can get.
I'm just trying to oblige, my brother.
Hey, is Pat on? Hey, Pat, you think we can get the K Brothers down here sometime? You think they'd all come down?
We can certainly try. I mean, I know I would. We can at least get a few of us down there.
That's what I think. Well, you and your brother, that's why it's called the K Brothers, right?
Well, yeah. Of course, now, like, the band name is sort of in question. There's two sisters in the band, too.
Oh, the brothers and sisters. The sisters and brothers. Oh, man. It's a family affair. That is so fantastic. We got to take one more commercial break, and then we're going to be coming into the end of the hour. Well, hang out, Pat, because you're going to make it the whole show. Wow.
I think so.
I reached out to Pat yesterday. I'm like, you want to be on the radio show? You can Skype in. And he got back to me like this afternoon. He's like, "Oh, I just got this. Are we still on?" And I'm like, "You bet."
It's pretty cool. I mean, this is
it's like he's sitting here with us.
Technology. I know, it's a wonderful.
He's been on the wall, on the video screen on the wall. All right, well, let's do a commercial break and come back.
All right,
you're listening to the Jimmy Tebeau Show on KKID 92.9 FM, Salem, Rolla.
See, that's what this show needs is more dancing girls. You girls could be the KKID dancers.
We got hired, yes.
That one show, Soul Train, they had, the solid gold dancers.
That's right.
So Soul Train.
Is that before you? Is that before your time? So you remember Soul Train?
No.
I mean, you've aged gracefully like me, then, right?
It's like fine wine. Well, hey, anyway, we kept mentioning that the Schwag played in the parking lot of the KKID radio station this past Saturday, and we presumably assume that maybe that was the first concert back since the quarantine. We didn't make that big of a hubbub about it, but I did bring in evidence that it actually happened. I got a video from there. Let me see if I can get it going.
Ever since you've been gone, I just cried the whole night long. Ever since you said goodbye, I just cried the whole night long. I threw up over you and just don't find my way. I'm tore up. Yeah, I'm tore up. Woo, I'm tore up. I'm tore up. I'm tore up over you and I just can't find my way. Didn't love me like you told me so. If you did, how could you go? It was you, not me, that left. It went away with someone else. I'm tore up over you and I just can't find my way. I'm tore up. Yeah, I'm tore up. Woo, I'm tore find my way.
Yeah, that was the Swag playing live there. Hold on, let me turn that off. Okay, that was the Swag live at the KKID radio studio here in the parking lot this past Saturday, and it was kind of an impromptu show. We're like, hey, the governor opened it up, supposedly, let's go ahead and try doing the show. We made it free. And people showed up and had a good time. We broadcast live, and there was a video to prove it anyway. But, well, we're starting to wrap it up. Yeah, you guys want to fade in there? It's been a wonderful show. We've had the Dead Roses here playing some wonderful music for us. Pat K calling in, Skyping in from out there in Columbia. And one more time, Pat K, tell us about the K Brothers. Where can we find you online and all that? Is it kbrothers.com? Oh, turn his volume up.
Oh, yep, need to do that, don't we?
Okay, you're up now.
And KKBrothers.com. Everything is.
All right. And any cool shows that are coming up at the Blue Note Theater and Rose Music Hall are this guy's fault, so stay tuned to those
please
websites.
Let us know when they do.
Yeah, that's what they should do, Pat, right? Just stay tuned to the BlueNote.com website, Rose Music Hall for updates. Right on. And then for these girls here in the Dead Roses, just look up Dead Roses Band online. And you'll be able to check them out. They got a Facebook page.
Yep.
And we'll probably have them back on the radio show sometime. And maybe get them at a swag stock or something like that. And then the radio show will be back here next week. Next Wednesday with a band called Factory. And probably have
they're
some
going to be playing down at Birdstock, right?
They're playing at Birdfest. Yes, they are at the beginning of June, if everything goes well. And then Swagstock is still July 31st, August 1st, Jerry Garcia's birthday. And
that's going to be a good time.
That is going to be a good time.
And that's a really safe place to be and holding the Swagstock.
That's right.
All right.
Well, we appreciate everyone tuning in. Be safe out there. See you next week.
And we'll be back in the morning. You got KKID Salem Rolla right here on your dial.